Hello everybody, I'm Sergeant Dixon with the Metro TAC team, the DTAC. I have, part of the team is 12 officers, one detective, and one sergeant. From that team is utilized to solve a whole lot of different problems within DTAC. It's like a go-to team. Again, my name is Sergeant Dixon. In the back we have Detective Cortez. He's our detective for the unit. You guys might remember Cleveland. He's a sergeant now, so good for him. He's moving on to bigger and better things. Metro TAC team is a unit, again, designed to give the commander flexibility to address hotspot areas, crime trends, and street level crimes, fugitive apprehension, and to improve the quality of life within the area. Next slide. Some of the things we do, initiatives that we do, we target victims. Like the commander said, you take the victim out of the equation, then we can probably solve that, get rid of the suspects. A lot of victims are intoxicated, come downtown, and they become victims. With the help of TABC, DACC, and business owners, employees, you have a lot of bar owners that are assisting us with those issues. And with the help of TABC, they can't help but to abide by the rules and keep everybody legit. We focus on property crimes, violent crimes, top offenders, and special events. Top offenders are people we choose to address that are causing a whole lot of issues downtown. And these people are out doing multiple crimes, whether it's property crimes, whether it's violent crimes. Usually we keep about 3 people on that list, and we effectively go out and, I'm not going to like this word, but we target those guys. All right, we give them an opportunity.
We want you to.
we give them opportunities with the operations that we do for them to break the law, then we take them to jail. And with the help of Jason English, we have special prosecution for those guys so they stay behind bars. Next slide. A couple operations we do is, back up please, Operation Overserve. The chief thought of this one. It's a really good idea. We see a lot of people on 6th Street that are coming out of the bars highly intoxicated. So the owners, the bartenders, are actually serving these folks. All right, it's against the law for a waitress, bartender, waiter to serve anybody intoxicated. So what we do is we go undercover inside the bars and see who are serving these intoxicated people. And if it has to be obvious. I mean, we can't just go in there and speculate that they are. We have to observe the waiter or the waitress, watching them fumble around with their wallet, fall, vomit, stuff they do when they're intoxicated. At that point, our team and TABC moves in, and we do administrative investigation on the bar, and we pursue criminal charges on the waiter, bartender, or waitress. And it's zero tolerance for that. The good thing about this, we get more help from telling them ahead of time than actually going out there doing the operation. We've been on the news many times telling them that, if you do that, we're going to take you to jail. We're going to press charges. And believe it or not, all the times we've been out, only arrested 3 people. Only press charges on 3 people. That means they're doing something right. And that's a good thing. So we're not going out there to take people to jail. We're going out there to make sure they're doing the right thing. Next slide. Fake ID. Again, this is part of taking the victim out of the equation. You have a lot of college students, a lot of underage drinkers downtown that are becoming victims. Sexual assault, robbery, theft, and the reason they're doing that is because they're intoxicated. So let's think about it. They don't have any, they're underage. How are they getting in these bars? They're getting fake IDs. We have officers standing at the door looking at these ID cards, making sure they're real. The bouncers are assisting us, they're behind us 100%. And when they notice a fake ID, they just hand it over to the officer, and the officer takes them to the command post. And all they get is a ticket the first time. But the more they do it, the more strict that those charges get. We go out on a Thursday night. It's college night, so you get a lot of people downtown. On a Thursday night, we can, ourselves and TABC, write upwards 60 to 80 tickets. There's a lot of people in it. In the past, we've interviewed a lot of people that are presenting fake IDs, and we have executed about 5 search warrants on people that are making these
That's
ID
what I was
cards.
about to ask. Well, why aren't y'all getting the ones that are making them?
We're getting the people that are making it. A lot of these come from on the internet. But a lot of guys have to make them here on UT and the surrounding area. You go in there, they have one guy we arrested was making double digits on these ID cards. He was paying for his college tuition making ID cards.
He had the whole setup.
Yeah, he had.
Holograph machine to put the holograph on there.
So everybody we talk to, every time we write a ticket to, we're interviewing. We're getting some good information also. Next slide. Property crimes. When the trend is high, we address that with operations, auto theft reduction operations, burglary of vehicle operation. They're taking a stolen property somewhere. We investigate all fence locations. And we have theft of bike operations. You might put a bike out there and wait for somebody to take it. We may put a vehicle out there with the windows down, wait for somebody to reach in there and take it. So we give them an opportunity for them to commit the crime, they go to jail. 9 times out of 10, they're going to do it. All right? A lot of these people have extensive history for violent crime, extensive history for property crime. So don't feel sorry. Next slide. Spotter operations is a good way to spot a lot of drug dealers at the arch. Patrol does a lot of spotter operations. They've been doing an outstanding job at it. We have a narcotics officer in the back who's going to explain more about the K2 situation. But thanks to patrol, they put a big dent in the K2 operation at the arch. With the help of Halo, officers in civilian clothes, we're able to spot officers, suspects that are violating specific crimes and go out there and take care of them. Most of this happens in a high crime area, and we do that with the help of CompStat in mapping to find out where those hot spots are. Next slide. Warrant operations. Just recently, SWAT gave us the job of serving warrants, which is cool, because that's something we need to do. We are now in the process of serving warrants every week in our area. Sometimes these warrants sit in the system for a while and go unanswered. So we're stepping up our efforts. When we get these fresh warrants, or even those old warrants, taking another look at those. People are committing these property crimes and violent crimes. Put some fresh eyes on them old warrants and get all those people taken to jail.
Most of the warrants downtown the Arch are just simple pedestrian and non-criminal offenses, so I don't think that's actually true. It seems like a war on the homeless.
That's not true, and we'll address that in a little while.
Okay.
All right. A lot of the warrants that we get are Class B and up.
I've had 3 false warrants.
The warrants that my team serve are Class B and up. So if they're at the Arch,
what does Class B mean?
it's a category of crime.
Is it a felony or?
No, it's just a misdemeanor. You have misdemeanors, you have felonies. When you get a ticket, it's Class C misdemeanor, it's a low crime. All right? When you steal something out of the shoplift, it starts at a B and goes up.
Gotcha.
You know, B is not as high as it's not as high as an A, but it's still a crime. So we serve those warrants. We don't serve any Class C warrants. That's something the municipal court does. Next slide. Top offenders, we talked about that, targeting people that are committing crime. And this is their criminal history, their involvement with Austin Police Department, their past history. Take all that in consideration and compute. Our crime analyst computes a mathematical program to spit these people out to give specific people that we target. All right? It could be anybody. We have 3 people. I don't want to say who they are, but again, we look at 3 people all the time. Next slide. Our robbery operations, what we do, wolf trap. sure you guys heard of that. It's an operation where we have an officer lay out, put some money in his pocket, and see if somebody takes it.
You know, what's interesting
90
about, I'm sorry, what's interesting about this one, you know, a lot of people think, well, you're just putting money out there, somebody's gonna grab it. Most people walk past it. We have people call 911 and say, hey, there's a guy passed out here, he's got money out of his pocket. And these are our homeless people saying, hey, you need to get somebody over here to help this guy. It's just the one, sometimes it's quick, and sometimes it takes quite a while for somebody, and they always have this long history of robbery or some other violent crimes. We haven't caught anybody that had a clean record and it just, you know, they just happen to be walking by and grab the money. So I thought that was pretty interesting when you watch the videos and you see people passing by, or they may see if they can help them, or they may call 911 or something.
I think I tried to get some videos for you guys, but a lot of these are still undisposed of, so we can't show you the videos. And like the commander says, we have 99% of these people walk by. We have to contact EMS and let them know, hey, we're doing this operation, because time after time after time, people are going to call EMS. And we have some really good citizens here in Austin. Look out for each other.
To a poor person, that's a ham sandwich, seeing money. Personally, in the last couple of weeks, I lost my wallet downtown, and it was all my money was stolen out of it. I found my debit cards. I didn't have a license in it, and 3 police officers on bicycles on film told me that it's not a crime to steal a wallet because it's not on my person.
That's something you probably need to take up with their sergeant. We'll talk to you afterwards if you want to address that.
So,
that situation.
you know, we're creating felonies with wool
This is
trap.
a different operation.
Yeah.
And again, we target only those people that are taking that wallet out, these people with long histories. Next slide.
I think what he's talking about, what you're saying is, if they take it from a person,
Right.
it's a felony.
That's what they told
If
me.
they don't, it's still a crime. You can't be stealing people's
Yeah, the
stuff.
bank said it was a crime, for sure.
Yeah, but it's not a felony. It's just a theft, and it depends on the amount taken. But anything taken from a person is a felony, regardless of value.
Death of a person.
Theft from the person.
Yeah.
Of the person.
From, I'm sorry. From. Here you go. Narcotics operations. Like I said before, Patrol is doing a great job. My team will go after more of the dealers. The people are bringing it in with the assistance of the street narcs unit that's in the back. We do buy walks, buy bus, where we send undercover officers in to buy drugs, and then we arrest them. All right. Sometimes we send off undercover officers in to buy drugs, and we don't arrest them for a few weeks. So, we watch them and get more intel, get more evidence, and then take them to jail. Depends on the situation. We get a lot of people with the buy walks, and that's something we utilize. K2 operations, we talked about that already in the buy walks. That helps a lot around the Arch area, around the open air drug market, and that's what the narcs specializes in. Next slide. Along with the crime stuff, we get to do some fun stuff, presidential visits, protests, large gatherings of people, which just recently was the gay softball tournament. We were acted as a security team for all the bars and the softball fields, which was great. It was very entertaining. Response teams, yeah, trunk visits.
And commendations on taking the pride truck to the Trump Rally Public. That was well taken.
All right.
Every event in Austin, 95% of the events we're going to have undercover officers there, watching people watching. All right, and that's what we do. When they have big events, the F1, South by Southwest, Cedar Street, all that stuff, we have undercover officers there. Next slide. Here's some of the operations we did in June. We did prostitution operations. We noticed that when you're down here, you get to know criminals. All right, we noticed that a lot of people that are involved in prostitution were hanging on that downtown area. So we went out and took them to jail, period. All theft operations, parking scams. Hopefully nobody ever was involved in a parking scam. But you do have the criminals coming down there and acting like they're parking attendants, taking your money and give you some fake parking stuff. You walk downtown, you come back, your car towed away, and you wonder what's going on.
It's really bad around South by Southwest and all those. They can make a lot of arrests doing that.
We assist with the homeless, the hot team, whenever they need assistance. Host team, I'm sorry. Host team. Getting fake IDs, person target follow-ups. We assist the robbery unit, homicide, forgery unit, all the units in the department on their follow-up investigation. We have the manpower. We have the troops on the ground that can assist them. Next slide.
Can I ask a
Total
question?
arrest and
Sir, can I ask a question? On the prostitutions, do you arrest the woman or the man?
well, we're actually going out undercover as the man. We solicit female, take the female to jail.
Isn't that employment rather than panhandling? Isn't prostitution employment? Aren't they trying to support themselves?
It's still a crime. We have to enforce.
Okay.
Is it a
There's a-
crime, I'm asking, is it a two-way crime? Is it just the woman?
No, we have operations that arrest guys too. We have female officers go out and, they get solicited. We take the guy to jail.
Okay.
So it's two-pronged. The man, the officer goes undercover as a man, or the female goes undercover as the prostitute.
I have one other question.
Okay.
Okay, I work at the Trinity Center, so a lot of on Thursdays, we help people get their IDs reestablished, birth certificates, whatever. It's so difficult and so expensive. Is there a better way to help someone get their ID reestablished without going through all the?
You can let,
Attorney, you have the answer to that, or?
We're working on it.
We-
Process.
the host team is working on a process that's modeled after the Houston hot team, homeless outreach team that provides an ID card. We actually used one, didn't we? And, because they went down to the DPS office and
It was a sample.
it was a sample. So, but we're working on a process where we still need a little bit more equipment
Okay.
to be able to generate them.
I believe that's one key to the Terrazos for free, if I'm not mistaken.
Say that again?
I
I'll get
believe
with you.
Travis County entered the Terrazos for free.
They're part of the host team.
They may not want to advertise that, but I think they do it.
Does that answer your question? Is that good?
What was that?
Some of the juvenile arrests, 36 arrests, 2 felonies, 34 misdemeanors. Next slide. Some of the July operations, prostitute operation, fake ID, wolf trap, narcotics, buy bus operations, overserve operations. Next slide. July 51 arrests, 12 felonies, 39 misdemeanors, 8 operations out of that. Next slide. A lot of these in between time, we're doing special events and stuff like that, so that reflects that. August is not quite over yet. Is it over with today?
Tomorrow.
A lot can happen today. My guys are out there right now, so I'll let you know how it turns out. The warrant operations, we just took over that task. Narcotics, spotter ops, special events, public order, and alcohol ops. We're full charge on the alcohol ops downtown. We just met with TABC, and we're going to try to reduce some numbers downtown when it comes to minor-related offenses. Next slide. And that's June numbers. Next slide. And in closing, I want to bring up a few other ops that just came across my desk a few weeks ago. We're going to move forward with the bike safety op. I don't know if you guys heard about that. It's something we're going to continue to do. It started last year, the 3-foot, 6-foot rule. We have a cool device that we have, some radar device that we put on the bicycle. We ride the bicycle, and we make sure that people are staying away from the bicyclist at least 3 feet, 6 feet. And we're going to do that operation a few times a month. All these areas are going to participate in it. So you might see that bike out there. Remember, when you approach somebody on the bike, make sure you are away from them at least 3 feet. If you're in a big truck, 6 feet.
But it's okay for them to weave in and out of traffic, right?
We also enforce, while we're out there, bike, the bicyclists. Okay, so don't feel like we're just picking on the driver, because I'm a driver too. Yeah. Just for the people that ride. Any bike riders in here? One?
No, but we
Two.
see a lot of them on West Mary and South Fifth. I mean, zoom, 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 they don't even stop for the stop sign. I mean, they're risking themselves, but that's they're doing it.
I understand.
Jeez.
We enforce those rules too.
But we're trying to train the kids on what the rules are, rules of the road on the bicycles, because
Yeah.
we're the Safe Routes to School team. And so we go out into the schools, we have an education team that, try to educate the kids on the rules of the road. So drivers, you still need to be, realize that they do have the right to be out there, so.
I think the city is moving towards a lot of
Yeah.
more bike lanes and et cetera, so we need to.
Just said that you also arrest the bikers, if they're not following.
Ticket.
It's a Class C misdemeanor, man. I told you about the Class C.
How about the pedicabs? I live over by Rainy Street, and on Fridays and Saturdays, you try and drive in and out of there. It's a nightmare. You literally can't get in and out of the neighborhood, especially Red River right there, from south of Cesar Chavez. And those pedicabs, they will just literally weave in and out of traffic, cut you off. I mean, they're horrible. Do you guys ever focus in on it?
We do when we notice a violation. I'm sure the officer addresses it. We'll put in a complaint and see if, the patrol shift can get out there and maybe focus on that a little bit more. What area did you say?
I know transportation also does
Okay,
stings on them where they'll ride them.
Yeah, Red River, that little area between Cesar Chavez and Davis Street, you could fund the whole damn department with tickets on a weekend there.
And the park police are out there. I'll make sure, Robert, if you can just let them know to maybe keep an eye out on that. Maybe we just need to run, some stings out there and write a bunch of tickets. It usually doesn't take, but just write a bunch of tickets for a couple of days and then word gets out. But,
Not to get off on a pedicab tangent, but to this point, I'm the director of security for a hotel, and we're getting a lot of complaints from our guests that some of the pedicab drivers appear to be intoxicated or under the influence. So we're hearing more and more an increase in that, and not to judge a book by its cover, but typically their descriptions meet certain riders. We're starting to see some of the same riders over and over where guests are saying, that's the one that seems to be under them.
if you ever have anything like that, give us a call.
We typically do. I was talking to Sergeant here about it the other day.
Yeah, because that's the one thing is, a lot of the residents and the guests, they don't want to call the police after right, but they'll tell somebody, and then it never gets told to us. We definitely, anything that involves safety especially, we'll focus some effort in.
Well, we're going to put together an after-action report, and we're going to let everybody know what you guys, the issues that you guys have. And I understand that handicap thing. We get frustrated too. And
Back to the felony theft on a person. I interviewed a homeless man from not this last Sunday, but the Sunday before. I interviewed him on Monday, and Officer Link walked up to him while he was doing magic tricks in front of Buffalo Bills on 6 and took $15 out of the tip jar and said, "You didn't legally obtain this. Do a magic trick." He did a magic trick. Officer Link took off. Isn't that a felony theft on a person? And is there going to be separate standards?
You're saying Officer Link stole money out of a tip jar?
Yeah, I wasn't witness, but I have a video complaint. It's already online, actually. It's already on YouTube.
You have the witness or the actual crime act?
I have the witness. I don't actually have the crime. It was the day afterwards that I talked to him. But he wanted to make a video complaint.
All right, well, we'll have to get, before you leave, give us the information on what day it is and everything. And we'll run that down. That's a serious accusation against an officer, so.
I thought so.
Obviously, we'll look into that immediately. Go ahead.
I just want to thank you about, I'm at 10th and Natchez. I have a business there, and we were consistently having prostitution and drug use in our alley. And so I give you guys a call, and that is, it's dropped down to 0. It's been consistent for about 4 months, and then it's dropped down to nothing. So I appreciate that because it's a real safety issue for my employees who have to go out it's kind of the beginning of the evening out the alleyway, and have been accosted or surprised somebody when they went out. So I appreciate you doing that because I think my employees feel a lot safer, and it's certainly a lot cleaner back in the alleyway. So appreciate it.
And that's what, we can't respond, we only have a certain amount of officers, so we tend to try and respond to complaints. And I hate to say the squeaky wheel gets the grease, because we also look at intelligence on the crime data like I described earlier. But, if we know of an issue, we can focus the patrols in there. Unfortunately, most of the time we know it moves the problem. If we focus a lot on arts, it tends to move the problem in some other places. But we clear the areas, like the arch, we really need to keep that area clear for the homeless population and not the criminal element. A lot of the homeless are afraid to go there because of the criminal element out there. And so we've been focusing a lot of effort out there. And in fact, the Organized Crime Division commander said that I think he's set to retire in January, and he said he would fix that problem before he left. So he's going to focus a lot of effort in there, and hopefully we'll get that area cleaned up. Also, underneath I-35, I don't know if you've noticed yet, I don't know how many signs are up, but we're putting no trespass signs up. We worked with Department of Transportation, it's their property, and we have a new procedure where we can actually issue criminal trespass on city property. So it's a little bit different process. It's not an immediate arrest. Most of the time you have to warn them 3 times in 6 months or something like that. But so we can clean up that area, because we're having a lot of complaints of people, especially parking late, having to get over to their car, being kind of harassed on the way over and back. So we should, as soon as we got to get all the signs up first, and then we can start. We already have the process in place, or pretty much in place, where we can start doing that enforcement. But it still could be a couple weeks before they get the signs up. Last I checked, there was only 2 or 3 up. Right now there's 40 something they have to put up, so it could be a little while.